Taking Parliament to the people. Dialogue Breaks on Radio Jeem.
It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and this is indeed the Dialogue Breaks right here on Radio Jeem. My name is Elfas Nkosi. It's a great pleasure to be with you this morning. Well, as much as I'm saying that it's a very good morning, but surely it can be a very good morning or a very good day in Palestine. Why am I saying that? Of course, we look at the Saturday's assault comes at a crucial moment as Israel and Saudi Arabia were moving closer to what they called a historic normalization of relations. But this morning, we look at what is really happening in Palestine. I think the people of Palestine have suffered for too long now with UN condemning this complete siege, but only with press releases. It gives me great pleasure this morning to welcome on the line Her Excellency, the Ambassador of the State of Palestine to South Africa. It's Ambassador Hanan Jarar. Ambassador, thank you so much. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for hosting us, and good morning.
Thank you so much for taking time to speak to us, Ambassador. Well, first to start with, I mean, what's the grapevine? What's the situation back in Palestine from yesterday? What are the developments?
Unfortunately, the situation is becoming more and more drastic, with the Israeli aggression becoming more vicious against the Palestinian people in Gaza. As you might be aware, Gaza is well recognized in the world, or has a reputation of being the biggest open-air prison in the world. It is 2 kilometers with 2 million people, and you can imagine the humanitarian situation with the Israeli blockade for more than 15 years, 4 consecutive wars against the Palestinian people, and the most aggressive war that started since last Saturday. Yesterday, there has been a genocidal statement by the Israeli Minister of Defense, when he says that they will stop aid of food, electricity, and water to Gaza, which means the humanitarian situation is deteriorating in unprecedented way. And this is all accompanied by heavy airstrikes that bombing and shelling blindly targets against civilians. They were targeting schools, hospitals, ambulances, residential places, mosques, even universities. Nothing is left in Gaza, and this was under the eyes and ears and the blessings, unfortunately, of the international community, who announced blind support for Israel to do this ethnic cleansing against the Palestinian people in Gaza, and to commit war crimes and genocide against Palestinians. The humanitarian situation is deteriorating, and we are waiting for international protection, international solidarity, and international support. Up to this moment, more than 700 Palestinians have been murdered by the Israeli war criminals. 91 of them are children. They are targeting innocent infants and children. 61 are women. More than 7,000 Palestinians has been injured in this war against Palestinians, and 137,000 Palestinians has been displaced until this moment from their homes that has become rubble, and they are sheltering in UNRWA schools. Today, UNRWA announced that it has reached its maximum capacity, and there is no room to receive more displaced people from Gaza. Unfortunately, this is the humanitarian situation up to this moment, and the situation is going to become more and more worse with Israeli blind bombing every second, almost. As I mentioned, even more than seven complete Palestinian families has been removed from the civil registry because all their members has been killed in the blind bombing.
Ambassador, when we look at in terms of the international community, is there some sort of solidarity that the Palestinian people find from the international community?
Unfortunately, the international community, especially, we don't want to generalize, of course. We are talking about the Western, the Europeans, the US. They are becoming warmongers, unfortunately, and they are supporting Israel blindly under the pretext of self-defense. We still have our friends like South Africa, Namibia, many other African states, some Arab states, but still, the majority of the international community and precisely Europeans and Western countries, US, they announced their full support, even sometimes in harsh terms, like go get them Netanyahu, finish them Netanyahu. I mean, the international community, especially the Westerns, they are becoming in a pathetic situation, supporting apartheid regime, supporting occupation. We find it very awkward. Yesterday, the European Union, they announced the suspension of their financial aid and developmental aid to Palestine. We do believe that what's happening now is war crimes under the pretext of self-defense with open or like with a carte blanche from the international community. Unfortunately, we are the Palestinians, the victims, and we are the one who should be condemned for for protecting ourselves, for defending our rights, and to live in peace and dignity as any other human being around the world. And yet we are punished for this.
But then, what call should we heed now as human beings? What call should we heed in order for peace to be realized, especially the people of Palestine, in order for them to really live in peace? What needs to be done, Ambassador?
Well, the international community should take a firm stand and should end the Israeli occupation for the Palestinian people. The international community should look at the cause of the problem, which is the occupation and the Israeli apartheid regime, and not only look at the symptoms of that the illness itself, which is the occupation. What's going on in Palestine and why Palestinians are defending themselves is a natural result for decades and decades of injustice for Palestinians, decades of occupation, decades of daily dehumanization, decades of killing people for no reason just because defending themselves. I mean, Palestinians are all of a sudden in the news, not because of the atrocities that the Israeli occupation is doing now, but because the Israelis are the material for the media, because for the first time the Israelis has been killed and they are in the media, and the international community all of a sudden wants to defend them. We call the international community to shoulder their responsibility and to hold the Israeli war criminals who commit war crimes against Palestinians to be accountable. We ask the international community to shoulder their responsibility in providing protection for the Palestinian people against the war criminals, the Israeli war criminals. We ask the international community to support the Palestinian inalienable right to self-determination and to freedom and to establish their own independent state. The international community is responsible for the atrocities of the that happens against the Palestinian people.
Ambassador, I know that you're very busy. You say you have a very hectic schedule. Now, when we look at what has happened on Saturday, what Hamas has done, irrespective of what we might say, And I know that this is actually not in question. But would you say that what Hamas has done, it's justifiable?
Definitely. And it's not justifiable because I'm the Palestinian representative or because they are Palestinians. It's justifiable under the international humanitarian law, where any country under occupation and suffer from occupying atrocities, they have the right to defend themselves against these atrocities. People under occupation have the right to defend themselves with whatever appropriate and whatever available. This is the most important thing that we should focus on. And as Palestinians, we have been for decades warned against this result. We have been saying that Palestinians are subjected to apartheid regime. Palestinians have been killed on daily basis. Since the beginning of this year, only more than 300 Palestinians have been killed by the Israeli army and by the Israeli settlers. Our land has been grabbed on daily basis. Mass displacement has been practiced against our population for the sake of an expansionist settlement regime. Do you think that the Israelis that has been killed lately are normal Israelis? No, they are not normal citizens. They are settlers. Settlements and settlers, according to international law, are illegal and are considered war crimes. When you deport the indigenous people from their own land and take their own land confiscated for the sake of the establishment of illegal settlements and bring people to live there, it's a war crime. So
Absolutely.
the situation that we reached now has been clear for everyone, but unfortunately it was not news for decades because it doesn't affect the Israelis, it only affects the Palestinian people.
Ambassador, I couldn't agree with you more, and I couldn't thank you so much. And what we can do is that let's pray and pray for peace, and let's have the international community coming together and condemn these atrocities in its most possible form. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck, all the best. We'll keep the people of Palestine in our prayers as well.
Thank you. And in this regard, I would love to thank from this radio also the South African people for their unwavering solidarity and support. We are talking about the government, the political parties, the solidarity movements, and the people of South Africa. Thank you for your unwavering support. You have been there. You have been under apartheid regime, and we salute you and we count on friends like you. Thank you.